as teachers, when we are creating our lessons, we're focusing on whether or not our students will be engaged in those lessons. Will they be interested in the topics that we're teaching? When what we should be focusing on is that investment. Are our students going to be invested in their learning?
And there's lots of ways to build that investment with your students, and we're going to show you 3 in this week's episode of ITV.
We're coming to you this week from NC Ties at the Raleigh Convention Center. We're actually in the vendor hall right now, finishing up this great conference. There were a lot of great sessions this week, including yours on interest versus investment.
That's right. I talked a lot about how do we get our students invested in the learning, and I offered 3 strategies. The first one being starting a conversation, getting to know your students, getting connected, and you can do that with a simple Google Slide.
One simple way where you can really get to know your students is by inviting them all into one Google Slide presentation and then let them design their own slide. This is a great way to get to know your students, their likes, their interests, and then that will inform future conversations that you have with them. Simply create a Google Slide presentation, share this Google Slide presentation, and give them editing access. You can go to your share settings, you can select Get Shareable Link, and make sure you choose one of the share settings that says Can Edit. Once you've done that, include a slide that has some directions in it, what information you're looking for, and some encouragement about making sure that their slide that they make for themselves is personal. Make sure it's creative, it's unique to them. You want them to feel like that this is their own slide. And then once you can either let them create their own slide by going up here to hit new slide, or you could make the slide for them already and let them go to their particular slide and then begin creating. You can also have your students go to other students' slides and leave comments at the bottom. It's a great way for them to get to know each other, and for those who have common interests, it's a great way for them to connect. So this is just one great activity that you can do to get to know your students with a simple Google Slide.
Remember, these conversations that you're having with your students, they need to be based on data. The students cannot just make up things. It needs to be based off of artifacts, grades, things like that. It also is helpful if it's led by the students. Let the students be involved. Let the students guide the conversation instead of the teacher being the one that takes charge.
You're right. Along the same lines of that conversation that you're going to have with your students is providing your students with feedback. And one of the ways you can do that is by using the commenting feature in one of your apps for Google Apps for Education. A simple way of providing feedback to your students when your students submit their assignments in a Google Apps for Education app, such as Google Docs or Google Slides, is to add a comment to the student's work. So let's say you're in a Google Doc that a student has submitted. If you want to add a comment, the first thing you need to do is highlight the text that you want to comment about. Once you highlight that text, you will see an Add a Comment button on the right-hand side. Select that button, and then you can type your comment here. Once you're done typing your comment, select the Comment button. That will then put a comment in the right-hand space on that Google document. If your students have submitted their assignment in a Google Slide presentation, you can select the slide that you want to comment on. Then you can select the Comments button in the upper right-hand corner. When you do that, you would then select Comment, and then you would provide a comment based on that slide. Changing the feedback is important because it gets away from having the grade be the feedback. Imagine having your students turn in assignments to get feedback from you rather than getting an actual grade.
I couldn't agree more. The other step that you can take to really build the investment for your students is to let them become creators. Not just creators inside the classrooms, but creators publicly outside the classrooms. Let the students create something inside the classroom, it'll be good. Let them create something outside the classroom, it'll be great.
One way for your students to become creators not only in your classroom but also globally is by creating some sort of blog. A great tool to use for creating blogs is the new Google Sites. In order to get your kids started, all you need to do is have them log into their Google Drive, and then they would select New in the upper left-hand corner. They would scroll down to More and then select Google Sites. Students can also use a site that they've already created if they have created one in the past. But if not, once they create their Google site, they would go ahead and give their site a name. After giving their site a name, they can go over to the
Insert tab in the upper right-hand corner, and then select Text Box. Once they select Text Box, they can then go in and begin blogging. They then have these text features where they can change the justification, they can bulletize things, they can add hyperlinks. They can also click on the Images button or the Uploads button to add different content to their blog.
There's plenty of options out there for letting your students become creators. Blogging is just one of them. You can also let them use videos or create those, things like that. But making these things publicly visible can be a game changer.
That's going to do it for this week's episode. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you check us out next week for another edition of IT Week.